Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, where we've just broken Larry's psych lock to hear about the night of the crime. What went on, at least from his perspective. Hopefully he tells us the truth rather than just being his flaky, usual smelly self. So you were here in Heavenly Hall last night, weren't you, Larry? And you saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you? Sorry, Edgy. Sorry, don't cut it, you scumbag. Threaten a young lady like that. Wait, hold up. What now, pal? What are you talking about, that threatening stuff? I'll tell you what, you tried to scare Iris by threatening to expose a secret, pal. What do you mean threaten? When did I threaten her? Unless you want your secret to be exposed. That sure sounds like a threat to me, pal. Blackmail, in fact. Give me a break, it's a love letter. Haven't you ever been in love? What did you just say? My love for her burnt so hotly it could melt all the snow on this mountain. Oh? And what is it, that secret you mention? Come on, Edgy. Don't you get it? I'm talking about the secret love between her and me. Obviously, she wouldn't want old Lady Bikini to know about it, right? About our hot and sour, bittersweet love affair. Alright, then why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? Give me a break, it's not my fault I didn't have any other envelopes, yeesh! And why were you so quick to apologise, pal? It's because Edgy gave me that scary look of his! What's wrong, Edgy? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? That's it. And that's what all those huge locks were about? I don't understand why you were so defensive. Well, I don't know either. I guess the thing is, you shouldn't expect too much from a guy like me. Hey, come on, don't let it get you down. But Mr. Edgeworth, this guy's still on you something, I know it. What do you mean, detective? Don't forget what this guy said just a minute ago. If you really want to know, last night, I saw something incredible. He's right. Larry! What? You're looking at me like a hungry dog that just found a bone. What was this something incredible you saw last night? You're going to tell me, Larry, one way or another. Well, something incredible? Let's find out. I already told you, didn't I? I saw lightning strike Dusky Bridge. Yes, and I believe it was the incredible sight you saw. But now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true. What doesn't? If that's all there is to your story, your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, Larry, I do believe you saw something last night. Something more incredible than lightning. What? When? Where? Why? How? Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you hide anything from Mr. Edgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal. Ah! Oh, come on. No! What's wrong, sir? Does this mean I have to do it all over again? Why are you glaring at me like I'm next to be hit by a bolt of lightning? I just had it with this Harlequin. If I really want to drag the truth out of him, I'll just have to drag him to the witness stand. And so we shall. Flaky Larry Butz. We can't be bothered to sort things out right now. So we go forward with the case. And find out what happened with the lightning strike. First, dragging him to the witness stand, eh? Oh my, Miss Louise feels that way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Louise is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instance in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Nim, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? Your true identity is revealed. Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris. It is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth. I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself, whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. And so we move to court, with defense attorney, Miles Edgeworth. It looked to me like he was on the wrong side of the stands, I don't know. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Yeah, he was on the wrong side, wasn't he? The defense does indeed appear to be ready. Maybe he's still on the wrong side going, this is the side I'm usually on. Oops! Let's get to the other side. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. Oh yeah, your Mr. declares verdict early. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Really? The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Franziska Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Karma? Legends are a thing of the past. I am a Von Karma. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, ah? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't? Well, I'm sure. Once before. Ach! I told you, there is no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Finally! Bailiff, remove that whip at...
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I'd expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I've been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. Wah! The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case, or as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Deuce Nim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She'd been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well, the court accepts this photo of the crime scene. Okay, we've accepted that. Hooray. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to a crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Need a stool. Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure. if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain-plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it, Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Wah! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. Wah ha 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 ha! In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe in myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. Let's hear what you have to say, then. First, let us tell us about your own movements that night, eh? Oh no, he's properly stereotypically Canadian. Like, slightly offensive to Canadian kind of Canadian, I guess. I don't know how Canadians really feel about that kind of stuff. I know, like, it could be... There is the accent saying it like a boot. An A. But still, I don't know if it's offensive or not. To play on that stereotype. Canadians, please, don't kill me. At night I was helping an acolyte with a training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath for the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I'd finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it! I think I've already got the first bit done. So it was simply coincident you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Right. The problem I saw with the statement, if I skip forward a couple here, is the fact that Iris testified that she never went. Didn't she not? She never went. She didn't want to cross the bridge. That's pretty much it, isn't it, for this statement? So I left Iris to help the acolyte and return to Hazakura Temple. But Iris didn't help the acolyte. Nothing happened. Objection!
Objection!
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all. Well, well, well! Don't worry, I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No! This was quick. She said that? Defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
Objection!
That is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. It's like a smarm off now, because all the prosecutors are smarmy. It's like a smarm war. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. Wah! All people lie. That is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Because she's not going to whip Edgeworth. Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means we must call your memory into question. Dear, dear, dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what I... My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... Is this like a completely new testimony? Well, as you can see, my back lights stacked up violently. Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Well, that's... Wait, we've got it again now? This is quick. We don't even need your testimony or to press you. You're pretty much giving it all up. I mean... We know that she took it off. Received before the lights out bell the night of the crime. Protects from evil spirits. We know she did not dress exactly. You made that way too obvious.
Objection!
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met... She was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course! That's a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wahaha! 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 Wait a minute.
Objection!
Hold it right there! Why do you have that? And that's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights-out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Well. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. No, it's not, is it, Edgeworth? Especially when they come as easily as that. Did not have to press or get any extra story there so far. It's literally just laid out there for you. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order! Order in the court! Witness your response. Ah! Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them. I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, sir. Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned. And this is quite strange. Wah! If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There was no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. So, will we get something to properly press here? I finished my bath around 11. I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was... Oh, Mr. Galeese! And with that sword of all things! Mr. Galeese was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of a window. No. Okay, we've got the contradiction here again already. In fact, I think we had two. You saw a terribly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court, and me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? Smile, I'm off again. Well, the statement that looks like the important one, again, is at the end. Timings, anyway, said based on the autopsy report, state that the time was between 10 to 11, Caused loss of blood from stabbing back. Body fell 10 foot after death. The obvious point that we need to present to is this one here. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of a window, but we know things happen the opposite way round. So it makes for some interesting questions. She was stabbed, then chucked. Then maybe Iris was trying to take the sword out? Could be. But we just don't know. Why is Bikini such an unreliable witness? Why is she lying? Unless she did see what she saw, but then still. The order of things based on the autopsy report puts it completely the other way around. For now, we'll leave you for this episode of Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. This started off as Edgeworth versus Von Karma. And bikinis all around. Bye-bye.